We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, now we got to re-add. Sorry,
Okay.
folks. There's a little.
Well, they don't know. Shut up. Don't tell them. They don't know what's going on. Hey, we're back. It's not like they're sitting in the studio watching us. I mean, come on.
Oh,
So now it's even better. 750.
Yeah, it's easier to add now. See,
that's
why
what we're gonna do. We'll start it. If it's like I can't do that, just wait a minute.
No, my busy hands got us in trouble there. I yanked, I adjusted a wire that's just laying on the deck, and apparently that has all my connections going through it. So it ended the podcast, well, our Zoom meeting, if you will, and everything. So I apologize to the listeners at home for having to come back twice. So we were talking about last week. You had your meeting. I unfortunately was traveling Thursday night for business/pleasure. And so I messed it up where we wouldn't have time to record and get the show up on Friday and Sunday accordingly. So we skipped a week. So if you were looking for new episodes last week, yeah, for once you can blame it on me. So,
well, and the good news is by starting over, we don't carry over the insurance fraud story that we were talking about.
Well, we can bring it up again. So I went to Tennessee to get rid of my 93 F-150 pickup. So my neighbor a couple doors down from me up there, I don't know, from the time I started getting up there, really nice guy, elderly, probably in his late 60s, early 70s. I would borrow his pickup to tow my boat in and out of the water because I didn't have four-wheel drive or even a car with a hitch on the back, right? So maybe I was a little premature by buying the boat, but regardless. So he was quite handy with everything, and he built me a trailer. So that's kind of where it all started from, and I paid him accordingly and all that. And he actually built my dock as well. So, he wasn't losing any money letting me borrow his truck. So he had this 93 F-150 in his yard. He had planned on fixing it up and reselling it, but he just didn't feel up to it at his age, and his wife has just passed. So he's like, you want to buy it? It runs. It doesn't run well, but it runs. It'll get your boat in and out of the water. So I bought it. I think I paid $2,600 for it, and he had already redone the inside with new seats and new headliner.
Yeah.
So, but it burned oil pretty bad. One time I started it up because it sits idle, for a month or two before I get back up there. It started up and it's blowing smoke out. My neighbor next door comes running out. He thought he let something in his yard caught fire. I'm like, no, it's just a truck.
Just my car.
Yeah, I used to tell Barb before I went to tow the boat in, I'm like, well, I'm going to spray the neighborhood for mosquitoes.
It's a volunteer gig, but mosquito controls in town.
So it wasn't the best of vehicles. And now that my daughter's done up at App State in Boone, North Carolina, she didn't need her four-wheel drive Jeep anymore. So I thought I'll use that. That's a little bit, well, knock on wood, more dependable.
Like a CJ is a short wheel axle, or is it
I think so. It's a Liberty, which is kind of a
like the
Jeep.
The normal look. What you and I would know a Jeep to look like.
I guess, yeah, it's not a rag top or anything like that. You can, put the doors on and all that. It's just, I bought that off a government auction, as a matter of fact, years ago. For I don't know, I think it was $2,500. So I paid for that thing. Yeah. Well, I had see. Now you're getting into the long story. I originally bought that to replace the truck at the lake.
Oh, okay.
I joked around with her and I said, here's your new car. And it's a army green Jeep with, the paint was chipping off and stuff. So I did it as a joke. And she's like, is it four-wheel drive? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I want it up here in the mountains. I'm like,
that's a good idea.
So yeah, I couldn't say no, really. So she used it for 2 years. 3 years while she was up there. So I still had to keep using that pickup truck. So when she finally graduated and was done being up there, we bought her a nicer car, her last car, so to speak, that at least I'll buy for her, or I plan to buy for her. Never say never. So anyhow, I've been trying to get rid of that truck for quite a while. I started at $3,000 for it, and it kept coming down as the months went on. So finally, some guy offered me $1,900 cash literally cash too. Can you imagine
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
No one really does that. So he showed up. He was going to show up Friday morning, so I got up there, and sure enough, he showed up, gave me $1,900 in cash, and now I don't know what to do with it. You know,
Yeah. Well,
you can't
well,
use
congratulations.
Thank you. You can't use Hundies anywhere. So
You go to the liquor store, keep you in booze.
really, oh,
Yeah. So it must have been something in the cards. We had a little daughter moment. Sarah called us from the icy north, and she was in tears. And she sent me a text. I was in class, and I was just took my kids to the lunchroom, and can you talk? And I punched in, and it was, she and mom were already on the phone. She's sobbing. I'm like, oh God, what's going on?
I know. Don't you hate that?
Yeah, and I'm like, get yourself together. Are you? And so she had coming down a hill and hit the ice
Oh,
and said, I'm not going to hit the truck in front of me. So she did a 90-degree turn right
mm-hmm.
and into a curb. And up there, they have those, square curbs.
Yeah.
And so she blew out her front right tire and then careened up a street sign. It didn't hurt the street sign, didn't hit the car, but it took the front right tire out. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
how did you get, are you okay? Of course, she always
Yeah.
asks that first. So
That sounds like she did a good job to me, but
yeah. So in the end, I'd made friends with a husband and wife family that own a little car repair, oil
right. I
change and
always try
stuff.
to find one of those when the kids went to school,
So I don't know how I have yet to figure out how she got the tire changed. Whether she did it or not, I don't know. But she got herself over to the garage. Maybe she had someone tow her. I can't remember. Or AAA showed up.
I would say that's what
I don't know.
AAA is for. You pay all that money. Tell
Yeah.
tell MP1 to get on it.
MP.
Doesn't he work there?
I don't think so. No. Anyway, so
All right.
long story short, our listeners are riveted by this. So the guy, I said, put Dave on the phone. That's the guy that owns it. I mean, he and I are, hey Dave, how's it going? Oh, hey Dave, that whole thing. And so I go, what's it look like? You're my eyes and ears. He goes, well, I don't know what you're doing to your daughter up here, but these front tires have no tread. And,
that's how I like it.
and I'm like, well, we got our money's worth. He goes, yeah. And I said, but you're supposed to check that stuff when you're rotating tires, Dave.
Right.
And so he goes, well, I guess we rotated them. The back ones are perfect, but I don't know how we missed the front. I'm sorry about that. I said,
oh, so you had been going to him prior to this. Okay.
Yeah. So I said, get me some, what do you call those? All
terrain tires.
Yeah, all terrain,
all weather.
Whatever. I didn't want those. I think the studs are illegal, and then you can't use them afterwards. So
yeah, you don't do that anymore, do you? Go down to the
we don't.
change. We did as kids. We used to have to take the car down and spend 14 hours at the tire place going from summer to winter tires. Yeah.
I said, just get me some all terrain, all weather, or whatever. And so $110 a piece, a front end alignment. I needed an oil change. It was $425. I said, honey, don't worry about it. It was maintenance, it's
we'll
all
take
good.
it out of your will. That's why mom always tells me.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's why I'm going to have zero will when she passes.
Anyway, no, it was good. So everyone survives. All right. Well, here we go. Our car, we could be called the two car guys.
Yeah. Hey, that show could come back. We are the two car guys, but we're for life's help, right? We help you in life is what I'd like to say.
I don't know. There's been a lot of people lining up. I haven't gotten a lot of, what do you call those?
Well, our new listeners don't need to know that, Dave.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're great.
So, we hope to get to listen, if anybody has a question, call in. We'll be happy to take your questions. If you don't have time to call, send us an email.
Yeah.
Would work.
What is that email?
Is that email address?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, how about X? X is probably going to show up there at some point in time. Now that I don't do the editing, I can't.
Dave and Woody Pod is the X address. And by the way, Elon just charged me this week. I'm looking at my charge card. I'm like, X Corp, $84. This is some sort of scam.
Was that the blue check thing?
For my blue check.
Oh,
I'm somebody for $84. Yeah, for $84 per year. He's trying to sell me.
Is there any, you just have to pay for that, or do they actually verify you?
So initially, before Elon, you had to get verified.
Right.
And the way I got it was, of course, I've told this story about 1,000 times. I ran for Congress, and because I ran for Congress, it was public knowledge, and I was what they call a public
Oh,
person.
all right.
And so one of the categories was a public figure, press, a star,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Not me is
I got
really.
the chip for that. And then once Elon took over, he said, "Yeah, that's cool and all, but we need the money." So it's worth it. I think $84 to reach that many people and tell my story.
Well,
Who
you
cares?
don't reach people, right? It's just that when people find you, they know it's you.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know.
So
I just pay it because I'm a sucker. Who knows?
yeah. Oh well, suckers born every day.
So I was checking out your studio. Clearly, it's been the weekend or the holidays, and you've had some
Yeah.
inclement weather. The
Well,
guys
well,
were they all like immigrants and they've been picked up by ICE or something, or what's going on? The
well,
people
yeah,
living
thanks for doing that, Dave. But no, it was really weird. They were kind of they all showed up Monday morning, and then around noontime they all disappeared. And I haven't been able to
did I
find them
do that?
since.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
I stopped the show and start over.
Yeah, why don't you
Oh man,
re-record
I
again?
stepped on his bit.
Oh man.
Golly.
Because you were supposed I was hoping you would do the math in your head. You were like noon. I mean Monday,
I
noon.
totally screwed up.
Both
Golly.
a political and a racist joke all in one pop. So I
Isn't
apologize.
that the best of them anyway? I mean, that's what they really are.
So we don't do politics on this show, but
Racism's not off the
yeah,
chart.
that's on the table. But
Bigotry's okay.
yeah. So we haven't gotten any work done in the past week. That's why everything's kind of still sit still. But the weather, yeah, it snowed up here.
Well, we were supposed to we had ice.
Were you kidding when you said you were going to get salt?
I was kidding about the shovel and the salt.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
my daughter bid on that too. She goes, because we have a Tractor Supply, and she's like,
yeah, right.
I told her that they're out of salt, so I'm out there with the iodized salt shaking her.
I was like, I was 80%. That's a joke. 20% going.
Well, did you see
Dave just might do something?
Did you see the pictures of Pensacola and Panama City and Crescent? I mean, whatever it is out there. It's like 6 inches of snow
on the coast,
on the beach. 6 inches of snow.
That's crazy. No, I didn't.
Yeah, people's backyard, the pools, it's all covered in snow.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, now here we haven't had snow in a couple of years here. This and for it to actually stick, it may have fallen, but this time it stuck till this morning. What they do, they got they use brine on the roads now instead of salt.
Like turkeys laying all over the place?
Yeah. No, it's actually pretty cool. It's a smart move because they can put it down before the storm comes. And then it won't ice or anything.
What is brine?
Just like salt water, briny water.
As opposed to
Ask
salt.
Alexa. Ask our assistant. Did you
do
already turn her up?
Yeah,
Did you turn her on, Dave?
Did I have to couch it around road protection?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because
go ahead. Say, what is road brine or something?
Alexa, define road brine.
From NBCDFW.com. Brine is a mixture of salt and water, and it's used in place of salt crystals on roads because it stays in place better.
There you go. So you'll go down a road and you'll see white lines down, off white lines down the middle of the lanes and everything. So you've been brine, it's been brine. So my neighborhood, if it's a really big storm, they'll come in the neighborhoods and do it, but they didn't do it for this one. So
they lay it down the middle of the road, and then because of the road's pitch on both sides, it just
it's kind of like you ever see a tar on when they're doing roads, and the tanker with the tar has like a
nozzle out the back
on the back with like 8 nozzles on it. Same kind of thing.
Okay.
And they just drop that on the road, and then it doesn't ice up or anything.
Big chunks of celery and onions fall out of it.
Right, and it doesn't, then there's not the salt that's very, well, it's not salt, but the crystallized salt, digs into the road and tears it up and everything. So you avoid that.
You still get the rust on your cars, though, probably.
I don't know if you get most cars have underbody these days. You don't have to worry about that anymore. But
so we got a snow day from school.
It's stupid. They gave the kids a day off here too. So,
Well, you guys have, brine. We don't have anything.
well,
So,
why don't they wait? You see, now when we were kids, I was kind of bitching to you on text about it. When we were kids, they would wait till the morning to cancel it. So they would say, okay, how much snow fell? That's too much. Call school off.
how it,
Now they start calling it 3 days in advance, you know?
well, so we had buses back when we were kids, and so the argument is the bus drivers won't be able to get across the bridges because it'll be frozen up. I don't know. I think
Or it's dangerous for them to drive.
yeah,
It's
I
kind of
think
is
we're a bunch more pansies than we were back then. I remember at Boone
Well,
High
we're very
School.
litigious is
Yeah, that's the problem.
90% of it, right?
When we
Someone
were
can sue the school if their kid gets a bloody nose from hitting the back of the seat in front of them or something,
one year in high school, they had a season like this, and they turned all the sprinklers on the night before.
Now that's
So,
smart.
and it was like I don't know. They were trying to. The theory is if the plants are covered in ice, they'll freeze, but they won't get sub freezing. I don't know
Yeah, they won't get
the
burnt.
damage or something. But it was a winter wonderland at Boone High School that
Well,
year.
that's how I got my first motorcycle accident. It was 17 degrees in Daytona Beach, and my motorcycle was my only mode of transportation. I certainly wasn't getting on the school bus. And so I came tooling down the road, and I went left into the school parking lot, and they had left the sprinklers on that night, and it put a sheet of ice across the road. Before I knew it, the bike's 5 feet in front of me, and I'm sliding along behind it. I was pissed.
You ever seen those guys the motocross on the ice track? You ever
Oh
seen those
yeah,
guys?
ice racing, yeah.
Yeah,
But
they got
that
nails in their wheels that are
yes,
like
that's
6 inches
insane.
long.
It's insane. It's like, well, you roll up on one of those guys.
Yeah, don't get run over by that guy.
Jesus.
Jeez.
I guess it's like short track racing, but on
Yeah, they're all on their
ice.
side cruising
Yeah,
around, but
right,
God
like they
help it,
do on
you'd
the
be like
dirt usually.
Swiss cheese if one of those things ran over you.
Yeah, but it's fun, Dave. It's fun.
Yeah, so to close this up, I'm sitting in my little, my studio here, and this morning I'm online, and in Florida we have heat pumps. I guess you guys do too, but
Yeah, we do too.
the
They're
heat
pretty
pump,
efficient.
it's not a good heater. You get to a certain level, I think it's about freezing, 32 degrees.
Well, maybe what you guys don't have. Do you have heat strips in yours?
No.
Say up here, because it does drop below freezing and get quite cold, they add heat strips to them. So when the heat pump can't keep up, it then turns on these electric strips. And
Yeah.
it's very expensive, but at least your
Yeah.
house stays warm.
We don't do that. But so it's constantly fighting because I still can't grapple how that works, but it literally takes the heat out of the air.
Yes.
So you could be 40 degrees out there and it takes the heat. I don't know how that works. But anyway, so it's right outside my window, and it's been running pretty much all the time. And so all of a sudden it shuts off and I hear this clink, 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 clink. I'm like, oh my God, that's not rain. It sounds like a bearing.
Right.
And so you know how sometimes it'll rain on the fan and it'll make that noise. And so it shuts off. I'm like, we'll let it. Then it fires back up and it's all falling apart. And I'm like, oh crap. And I look out there and sheets of ice are coming off the roof.
Oh,
and
and
hitting
the top
of the fan. I was like, oh, okay.
I found a bird in mine a couple
we
months
get
ago.
lizards all the time, lizards and frogs.
Yeah, but this bird obviously didn't survive.
He was defeathered.
It wasn't pretty. And I couldn't get, and then I was trying, he was just
to get
under
through the grid.
Yeah, well, you don't have to have the grid on top, right? Well, he kind of got caught in that grid. And yeah, and then the fan turned on, I guess. I don't know. So
that
I
sounds
went
like a headline I heard today, but
yeah,
go ahead.
so I went to thanks, very funny. So then I went to grab the bird out and it fell below the fan down the bottom. I'm like, oh, I guess you're staying down there because I got there's no way to get in there. So that bird, it may be a skeleton now down there. I haven't checked in a while. So
yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Great show. Welcome back. What episode? I know I can figure it out. We're in what season are we in? 12?
Season 8.
8. Okay. That's the problem right there.
And session 2. Episode
This is
2.
This is one of those situations, folks, where we're 12 episodes per season, but they're not concurrent because of the breaks.
Our schedules don't align every week. Or
We're busy
sometimes we just
people.
got no. I just don't want to talk to Dave. Is really what it amounts to.
Yeah, that happens. Not a lot, but it does happen.
More than you think.
Is that so?
Yes.
I saw another NASCAR great passed away. I don't know who it was though.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him either.
He's an older guy.
Yeah, before my time. Most are when they pass away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't die.
That's a good thing.
You think they would die in a car wreck, but they don't.
You know that the 500's coming up.
Memorial Day?
What? No, like in 3 weeks.
In July? Now, which one is
No.
this one?
Did the
Daytona
kickoff to
500.
NASCAR's? Yeah, the Daytona. What are you? Good
Is it
Lord.
in
How long have
February?
you lived in that state?
I can't remember when it is. All I remember is whenever it is, I wouldn't go south that weekend.
Yeah, it's crazy on the coast.
Yeah.
But
All the bike
anyhow,
bike
so I'm
week.
looking forward to that. Now that football is wrapping up, my team is out now. So
Who was that?
the Rams.
They lost last night or night before last?
Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday. They played the early game on Sunday. Had a chance to against the Eagles. It was a pretty long shot for them to win the first place, but they were within a touchdown at the end. But then just ran out of time and downs and couldn't make it up. So
I haven't watched any games. I don't know what's going on.
really, well, there's 4 teams left. You got
who's left? I assume KC's still in it.
Yeah, KC plays the Bills this Sunday, and the Eagles play Washington, if you can believe it.
Yeah. So are we going to get the Redskins back? I
No.
didn't know. I heard the tribe was suing them.
There is no tribe called the Redskins,
No, but there's an Indian consortium of people that want the name back.
Again, it goes back to my theory that 10% of the world speaks for the other 90%, and the 10% were clamoring to change the name. And when Dan Snyder bought him, I think 10 years ago or so, he said, "I'll never change the name." But then he ended up doing it, 2 years ago or so?
Well, he got canceled, didn't he, or something? He got all.
He didn't. He has enough money. The team got bought either last year or the year before, and I think it was Dan Snyder that agreed to it. Or, what probably happened, if I got to guess, is he just stopped calling them the Redskins. Remember, they were the Washington football team for a year and a half or so.
Well, they didn't have a name, yeah.
Right. So they were called the Washington football team for a year and a half. And then the new owners took over, and I guess they came up with Commanders or something like that. Yeah.
And how does that work? Why did they use
the top names they had? One was they were going to go back to Redskins. I can't do it. I was going to do some really bad slang for other.
Something to do with criminal activity in Washington, D.C.?
No, maybe someone's back got wet or something. It was maybe one of the other ones. Or I was trying to come up with the oldies.
Well, they changed the basketball team, the D.C. Bullets.
Well, they were the Washington Bullets.
Washington Bullets.
Until they became the crime capital or the murder capital of the United States.
I don't know. It's pretty fitting, right?
Yeah, no one was complaining. That's it. It just
I don't think
a small amount of people complain, and then you gotta.
I don't think the murderous villains are tuning into the basketball game, going, "Man, that's not right."
Or no, you know what? Watching the basketball game, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go shoot someone tonight. I don't know why. It just hit me.
Represent. Anyway, all right. Before we get down to some, we'll get.
So the Commanders, with their rookie quarterback.
Yeah, hold on.
Go to the NFC Championship.
Alexa, why are the Washington football team called the Commanders?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the Washington Commanders is the new name of the NFL team, formerly known as the Washington Football Team, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, who chose to rename the team after furor regarding racially biased and offensive names that were derogatory to Native Americans.
Oh, no, Native Americans. I thought they were indigenous people.
Yeah, boy, she's racist.
Well, her contributors are.
Yeah.
Tim Melnick would like to have him back as
yeah, I think I saw him post something about that, right?
Yeah.
He must be excited that they got a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Redskin fans are kind of a breed of their own. They're the ones that used to wear the was it the dog face or the hogs or something?
The hog noses. I
for
don't
the
know the
offensive line.
genesis behind. Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah,
The dogs were the Cleveland Browns.
yeah, that's it. And they're not much of a team anyway.
No, they keep trying, but they they think they make these spectacular moves, and everybody just fails in Cleveland for some reason. The mistake on the lake, as our friend Sam Britton used to say.
Well,
So.
kind of like our Jaguars. They suck.
Yeah, did you finally get rid of your coach?
They got rid of him. I don't. They've had the headline now is another successful interview.
Oh, wow.
So we've interviewed like 10 coaches apparently. I don't
Have they
know.
called you yet?
No, I don't know if I made the short list or
Listen, if you get on there, I'm your assistant.
not. What will you be doing?
I'll play guard.
Guard the water bottle?
Come on, you're stealing all my lines, Dave.
Can't wait around for you, man. We got to deliver. No, I don't think
it's
I'm
all about
on
timing.
that list. I don't
It's
think
about
I'm on that
timing.
list.
You know, when we had when we were up looking for a head coach, I threw my into the I forget his David Tepper's X account. I threw in there, hey, how about an interview?
Who's David Tepper? Said I messed up.
He's the owner of the Panthers.
Oh,
so
you reached out to him under yours?
I reached out to him. I slipped in his DMs and said, hey, how about an interview? I think that'd look pretty good on the old resume. I interviewed for the head coaching job with the Panthers. Did you?
For about a minute.
Yeah, until he realized who I was.
I got a good friend of mine, Steve. I won't say his last name, but he was a ball boy or bat boy for the Minnesota Twins.
The professional team. The major league.
The major league Minnesota. Yeah,
yes.
The major league, the real Minnesota Twins. They came. You remember this? They played at Orlando.
Yes, that's what I was thinking
at
about.
Tinker Field.
Yep, I used to cover that when I was doing broadcasts as an engineer. I engineered those. That was AA.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you're right. They did. So, but it was Tinker Field, and
I didn't remember the name though. Yeah.
And we found out. I just talked to him today, and I asked him if it was still. It's gone. It was supposed to be a
really?
historical landmark for Orlando, but I guess
it was right up against the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah,
the outfield wall was.
They expanded the Citrus Bowl, and they took part of left field.
Ah, that's too bad.
So
I love that stadium.
That's where our high school played the Class 7A state high school championship game.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Anyway, so let me tell you the story. So Steve was the bat boy from the time he was, I want to say maybe 12 or so, until he was in high school. And so he used to put that on his resume. He would ask me, like, well into my professional career, he was trying to get a job. He'd send me his resume. I'm like, Steve, are you ever going to take this bat boy thing off?
They say there's so many different strategies. Some say put everything on there.
Well, to his credit, it was always a conversation piece.
Exactly.
Someone would see it and go, what are you talking about here? And they would think it was cool. So, as I learned, I said, okay, that's fine. I don't think.
Why didn't you look at my resume, by the way?
Did you send me one?
You never offered.
Maybe I just didn't feel like you. I wish you good fortune.
There's nothing you could do. I'm going to put a webcast host on my next one.
You don't need it. You're a self-made man. You don't need
I wish.
You don't need a job. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I wish that was the case.
I've only had two jobs.
Well, you've really 3. Are you counting teaching?
No, I mean employed, where I've only been an employee. I was a bag boy at Publix when I was 15.
All right.
I guess I've had a couple jobs. But
yeah, come on now. You worked at the hotel.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
You worked for the
all right, 40 jobs. I've had 40 jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And so how about career jobs?
Yeah. Maybe it's more than I thought. Anyway, all right, I don't know how we got here.
I don't know, but we got 15 minutes left.
Oh, God.
Thought we were running out of time. Well, how about this day? You know what? I was just kind of glancing at this day in history because you brought up a point that someone was born on this day. Who was that again?
Well, I don't want to steal from you.
No, I mean, it's this time I can't find who it was.
Steve Perry.
Oh, isn't quite making the list on the Britannica.
Well, he was like 5th down when I asked her earlier.
Well, let me see. So it seems like it's a more prestigious day to die on this day.
Okay.
Heath Ledger,
That was
he's an actor.
he's the car accident, wasn't he?
No,
The-
he was that was well, overdose slash suicide, possibly, if I
Heath
remember
Ledger.
right.
I remember
Yeah.
the name, but I can't
Yeah.
remember the.
He played a lot of oh, I know what you'll know him for. Brokeback Mountain.
I never saw it, but thank
Ah,
you
you
for
did. Yeah, I almost got you to admit to it. You're like, oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
But the fifth time I watched that, I really got into it. Nothing wrong with watching that, Dave.
I can't quit you, Woody.
It won't catch. It's not. It's not
He's
like
dead,
a
really?
virus. Yeah. Well, he died in 2008.
AIDS?
No, I told you, he wasn't gay in real life that I'm
Oh.
aware of. I don't think he was.
You don't have to be gay to have AIDS, do you?
I guess not anymore. Originally, it looked at. I think that was predominantly how it was spreading.
Okay.
Who am I? Call the CDC. Lyndon B. Johnson passed
Now
away. On
he's
this
gay,
day.
right?
Yeah, he never came out. It's in
Well,
his
he did. And then
it's in his
had to tuck it back
biography.
in.
Yeah, right.
Lyndon B. Now, what'd he die of?
Old age, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not really. I don't want to.
Smoking, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Smoking and cursing. Apparently, that
and
guy
drinking.
cursed a blue streak.
He was a good drinker. Also, Joe Paterno.
Ugh.
What a
What was
lost cause there, huh?
It's sad how
It
all.
is. It
His
is.
legacy
Oh, man.
was slightly
Tainted.
diminished. Yeah.
Yeah. His own doing, unfortunately. That's why.
Well, they could have put a stop to it sooner than
that.
not.
I think that's a turn a blind eye to what was going on, and
It's kind of sad.
it is. It really was, because
Papa.
that's all he'll be remembered for now. Is that? Also, I'm seeing Hank Aaron.
No, wait a minute. He died today, didn't he? No? No,
No.
he's been dead a while.
Died today. What are you thinking about?
On today.
Yes, on today. You're like, oh, no, it was today, wasn't it? No.
Wait a minute. Johnson died today.
Yeah, right. He was old.
All right. So when did Henry die?
2021.
I remember that, I guess.
Yeah, and
How many home runs did he have? 744?
55, I think.
Mm.
So, and didn't someone broke that recently? Ask Alexa who holds the record.
Alexa, who holds the lifetime home run record in the MLB?
From Wikipedia.org, Barry Bonds holds the Major League
Yeah.
Baseball home run record with 762.
Juiced.
Alexa, how many home runs did Hank Aaron have?
I told you, 755.
In his career, Henry Aaron had 755 home runs.
That was 40 something.
Look at, where did I pull that out of my ass?
You're probably looking at it right there on the
No,
internet.
I can't remember my kids' ages, but that, for some reason, I'll pull up Hank Aaron's home run record.
What was his
here's
number?
one. Give me a second. I'm trying to pick him because he always caught over his shoulder, didn't he? No, that was
I think it's 44, wasn't it?
yes.
That's where the number 44 keeps coming for me.
Yeah. Here's a biggie for you that passed on this day. Pope Benedict the 15th.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a big one for you.
Well, not as nice as the 14th, but the 15th, he was.
He tried to make it better, but it didn't quite. I think that's about it. I'm getting quite low on the list here.
When was Pope Benedict the 15th around? See,
now I got to go back up there. So he was born November 21st, 1854, and passed on January 22nd, 1922.
Yeah.
It's 40 years old. I guess at that time, average, maybe? I don't know. Anyhow, so that's nothing.
Big day for dying.
Nothing real of note history wise today, though. I glanced. Well, we talked about it earlier. The Roe versus Wade ruling was on this day.
1976,
I gotta go back up there and look. 73. Good call.
73.
Yeah. So, that's about it. I mean, of note, I'm trying to circle back to that
Steve
page.
Perry, though, guess
Yeah.
how old? 76.
That doesn't seem right.
I knew he was older than me, but I didn't realize he wasn't in high school with me, so he's 15 years older than I am.
It just doesn't seem right because I remember it seemed, well, I guess Journey had been around. I remember in college when he split from Journey, it seemed like he was in his early 20s, which would only put him 5 years older than me, which would make him 60. So obviously he was already in his 30s, I guess, when they split up.
I don't know. I saw maybe a year or two ago that he was out back on tour. He was kind of, firing things up again. I don't know. At some point, if you haven't
Well, they're
saved
not.
your lunch money,
He's not going to get with Journey. They hate each other for some reason. I don't
No.
know the genesis behind that, but that's the
ship
story,
has
and I'm
sailed.
sticking with it. Yeah. So
Well,
I got to start writing down these subjects we've been talking about. But,
yeah, get on it. While you're doing that, I had a crazy headline I ran across. I don't want to do headlines, but this one was it's tragic though. Is it okay to do a tragic thing? Not the motorcycle. The pugs.
Oh yeah, I was thinking. I'm like, I was trying to think if it's okay or not. I'm like, I didn't take it as tragic.
What is it? The ASPCE? What is that group?
ASPCA.
ASPCA. In your face, ASPCA.
Why?
Well, because this is reverse. The dogs get the revenge.
Oh.
Tragic.
Wait a second. Anyhow, that makes no sense to me, but we'll go back to it.
Tragic dog owner, 34, eaten by her pet pugs after dying in an apartment as heartbreaking tributes paid to beautiful angel. And it's got a picture of she's an attractive woman and she's surrounded by these lovable, cuddly pugs. Only to her chagrin, she would die. So,
well, that's what she gets for not feeding them.
A dog, well, apparently she fed him well. A dog owner was eaten by her pet pugs after dying in her apartment and being left to rot for days.
That happens more often than not, I bet.
Those pugs, they're a little deceptive.
At what point in the pugs are like the two of them are looking at each other like, hey, man, you hungry?
Yeah. I'm hungry. She's definitely not going to feed us.
She's not moving. And they're like, you try it first.
I don't know. Maybe that's why that snout of theirs is so kind of flat, so they can get into your chest cavity.
I bet you there is a reason, a hereditary reason as to why their snouts are short.
Well, and I don't want to make too much more light of this. She's from Târgu Jiu, northwest Bucharest, Romania. So,
she's Russian,
Romanian, from Bucharest. Apparently there's a police investigation going on. I'm like, really? What do we got to figure out here? There's a bunch of pugs running around with their stuff all over their faces. I don't know. That's disgusting. And then there's a picture of her sitting like a Instagram photo. She's sitting at a restaurant with a big Lazy Susan of these mile-high stacked burgers and just food all over the place. So
right?
She was probably constantly bringing home takeaway.
Oh.
And then, never sharing with the dogs.
Now,
and maybe they said, we'll get you when it's over.
Now, do they have to put these dogs down because they have the taste of human blood now?
I don't know. Pugs aren't that tall. I mean, really, they're not. You don't have to put them down
they're
too
not
far.
tall anyhow. So
I don't know if it says anything about that.
Oops. I spelled pugs wrong. I'll get it right.
After alerting the police officers and firefighters broke down the door to find Nago's lifeless, half-eaten body on the floor.
Man.
The two beloved pugs were found beside their owner, who also they were a little chunky. The police officers noted they were stout and full.
Most dogs are gluttons, right? And they'll eat till they're sick. So
it says with no clear cause of death. Well, I guess she died before they got to her. Oh, wait, hold on.
I was going to say, I was going to ask you how she died.
The two pugs were removed by two of them were removed by workers for the local police council, and police put a shelter order in place for both dogs. Maybe they're going to go up for adoption.
You looking for something to kind of clean the house up? Should you pass? Yeah, these are the ones you
Well, I
want.
mean, how does that read? Like friendly, cuddly, lovable. My God, keep them well
Murderers.
fed.
Well fed.
Do not drop human food or scraps on the ground.
don't let them sleep in the bed with you.
Yeah, don't go to sleep without one eye being open. Keep an aspirator or whatever you call it, something on. Oh, that's horrible. How can you make fun of
Because
that?
they'd be quick to jump the judgment in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, has it moved in an hour?
Well, we've been here before. Let's go, Bob. Oh, that's
horrible.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
we only have a few minutes left, but did you know another famous Sigma Chi came to light the other day?
Came to life?
No, came to light.
Oh,
like I realized they're Sig. It's Danny DeVito.
Get out of town.
No, he's not. He does those stupid Jersey Mike's commercials, and they had him like on campus or something.
Oh,
and so they spelled he had a shirt that said sub on it, and the S was a Sigma. So look, Sigma UB. So I was like, oh look, oh no, it says sub.
It's sub Chi.
So anyhow, what are you up to this week? Oh, never mind.
Well, I thought I heard someone that was a Sigma Chi recently. I didn't realize it was Sig. The guy on Fox, Brett Baer. Everyone knows that he's a Sig, but doesn't really
That's
matter.
Too bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm disappointed. He's got the stain of dishonor.
Oh, does he? Never mind. We won't go into
yeah,
it.
we won't go into that. Oh, this week, so there's nothing better. First of all, we had Martin Luther King Day, and that's a nice thing. But it was interesting. I don't want to get too far into this, but it was interesting because I'm on the blogosphere watching all the Twitter and the X and all that stuff, and how many people were saying how the inauguration. How dare they have the inauguration to upstage Martin Luther King Day?
I didn't understand that either. I had to explain that to my kids. So
how did you explain it?
I said it's constitutionally set.
Okay, thank God. Yeah, so they're like, hey, this isn't right. MLK should be getting top billing.
Right.
I'm like, well, okay, but no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
anybody else, it probably wouldn't. They would have put the 2 and 2 together. Like, why would so and so do it on that day? But
I think we need to make. I know it's not to be political about it, but I think why isn't that day a national holiday?
I don't know.
I know MLK moves around. It's the 20th, but it moves around.
Yeah, I don't know how MLK Day is set. I don't know. Is it the same calendar day each year?
I don't know. Okay, hold on.
All right.
Alexa, how do we determine Martin Luther King Day?
Here's something I found on dictionary.com.
Dictionary.
The noun Martin Luther King Day is usually defined as the third Monday in January, a legal holiday in some states of the U.S., commemorating the birthday, January 15th, of Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah. So
why don't we put it on January 15th?
Yeah, because it ends up in the middle of the week, and that's harder to get people off, I guess, is my guess, than making it a long weekend. It's got to be convenient, Dave. So when constitutionally is the inauguration? Is that not the third Monday?
It's the 20th.
Oh, just 20. Okay. All right. I didn't know it was
Alexa,
set day.
Is the inauguration set for the 20th of January?
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay. She's
clueless.
Clueless. She must not be from here. That's interesting. So,
not that you probably watched it at all, but did you see Soros, not Soros, Bezos,
some other billionaire,
Bezos' wife at the inauguration?
No, I did not, but I've seen her in pictures, so I can only imagine.
All right, I won't go into that. So this week we got Martin Luther King Day off, which was Monday, which whatever. And then, so that's a 4-day week, right? We have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of school left, and then we go to school on Tuesday. My classes are clicking along. I'm expecting to be reviewed, by the way, on Wednesday. And lo and behold, we get a snow day. And so we get Wednesday off. So I'll go back to school Thursday. We'll have 3 days this week.
Do you have to make up your review
Yeah,
day? Oh, wait, say you were going to be reviewed like by the principal, or there was something
I'm
you
up
were
for
reviewing?
my
Okay.
I get a review in the
You're not going to ask for any more money, right? Because as a taxpayer, you don't want to see any more waste.
well, there's that, and every year I've gotten a job, I've gotten a raise of this thing, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm not going to get greedy. I've already gotten another raise. So anyway, so we're gonna go back tomorrow and Friday, and the weather's going to be worse tomorrow, temperature wise. I don't know if it's going to snow or not, but we're going to have colder weather tomorrow and tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. So I don't know what we're going to do. Anyway, so this is how you turn a 4-day week into a 3-day week.
Very nice. Very good
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
And we got to make it up.
Yeah, I had to work Monday regardless of the day. So we did not get the day off. So
Yeah, I think it's not really a hard federal holiday, but it is a federal
yeah,
holiday.
that's what I see in college. I remember they were moving MLK Day around when we were in college because it used to be, wasn't it like a half day or something like that? And then they made it a full day, and then
That
it would
sounds
fall.
right. Let's take a
Yeah.
half day.
Well, it was weird.
Did you start work like at 10 o'clock in the morning, or did
Well,
you leave early?
for us, like the morning classes would be canceled on MLK Day, but the afternoon ones were in play. And
I do remember something weird about that.
yes, and then it moved around what day of the week it was, and who knows?
I don't think it became an official holiday till post our graduation.
And maybe that was it. So, all right. Well, it's time to say goodnight.
Hey, are we going to do spaces? We got a nice window here, 8 o'clock.
We could do 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's. I like that short window.
All right.
All right. Well, listen, you've been listening to We Can Help with Dave and Woody, another titillating episode. I like that.
I hope so.
And we're back, season 8. This is episode 2. Listen to us on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict. And please, I'm not going to beg you. If you're watching
please.
us, please, YouTube.
Come on.
Smash
Just
the
tell a
button.
friend to listen. That's all I ask. We really do need to get our numbers up somehow, some way.
Yeah, I'm going to start going pantsless if we keep this up.
I don't plan on getting any better at this, so we're going to have to come up with a better way to get more listeners.
Oh. All right. Well, anyway, that's all we've got. So have a great week. Have a great whatever.
Weekend.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.